Maria, at 75, started her days early. She dressed in her worn but neat clothes, her frail hands trembling as she buttoned up her coat. Every morning, she left her small, dilapidated room, clutching a cloth bag that held all her possessions. The streets were her canvas, and survival was her art. She navigated the city with a determined look in her eyes, a look that masked years of heartache and betrayal. Each step Maria took was heavy with memories. She once had a comfortable life, filled with laughter and warmth. Now, she walked the cold streets, her only company the shadows of her past. As she moved, she greeted the familiar faces of other street dwellers, exchanging silent nods and knowing glances. These brief interactions were a lifeline, a reminder that she wasn't completely alone in her struggle. Maria's routine included visiting local bakeries and cafes, where she would politely ask for leftover bread. Her voice was soft, almost apologetic, as she made her humble request. Sometimes she was met with kindness, other times with indifference or outright disdain. But Maria had learned to swallow her pride long ago, each rejection a bitter pill she had grown accustomed to. Despite her hardships, Maria maintained a certain dignity. She would sit on a bench in the park, carefully tearing pieces of bread to feed the pigeons. Watching the birds flutter around her brought a fleeting sense of peace, a momentary escape from her reality. It was during these moments that she allowed herself to dream, to remember the life she once had and the family she had lost. As the day progressed, Maria would seek shelter from the harsh elements. She had found a few quiet spots in the city where she could rest undisturbed. These places became her sanctuary, offering a brief respite from the relentless grind of the streets. Here, she would close her eyes and let her mind wander, recalling the faces of her children and the home they had shared. Evenings were the hardest for Maria. The streets grew colder, and the loneliness more profound. She would huddle under layers of clothing, trying to keep warm as the city around her bustled with life. The sight of families dining in cozy restaurants or couples strolling hand in hand was a stark reminder of what she had lost. Yet, amidst the pain, she found a strange comfort in the rhythm of her routine. Maria's nights were often restless. She would lie on her makeshift bed, listening to the distant sounds of the city. The memories of her children haunted her, their faces etched in her mind. She wondered how they were, if they ever thought of her. But these thoughts were quickly replaced by the pressing need to survive another day. She couldn't afford to dwell on the past for too long. Her resilience was remarkable. Despite the betrayals and the hardships, Maria never gave up. She woke up each morning with a sense of purpose, however small. Her routine, though grueling, was a testament to her strength. It was a way to keep moving forward, to keep fighting for her dignity. And in the quiet moments, when the world seemed a little less harsh, she allowed herself to hope for a better tomorrow. The city lights dimmed as Maria settled in for the night. She clutched her bag tightly, her thoughts drifting to her children once more. She couldn't understand how they had turned on her, how they could leave her to fend for herself. But even in her confusion and pain, there was a glimmer of forgiveness. Maria's heart was heavy, but it was still capable of love. As Maria drifted off to sleep, the faces of her new street friends floated in her mind. They were her family now, bound by shared struggles and mutual support. Their stories intertwined with hers, creating a tapestry of resilience and hope. And though the nights were cold and the days long, Maria found solace in knowing that she was not alone. Her routine, her fight for survival, was a testament to the human spirit's enduring strength. Maria's story was far from over. Each day brought new challenges and small victories. Her journey was a continuous loop of hardship and hope, pain and resilience. And as the sun rose once more, Maria prepared to face another day, her spirit unbroken, her heart still filled with the faintest glimmer of hope. Her routine, though harsh, was her lifeline, keeping her connected to the world around her. Maria's children, Carlos and Lucia, were once her pride and joy. Growing up, they had everything they needed: love, education, and a comfortable home. Maria worked tirelessly to provide for them, sacrificing her own needs to ensure their happiness. She never imagined that the very children she cherished would one day turn their backs on her. But life had a cruel way of revealing true colors, and Maria's heartache began with their betrayal. Carlos, the elder of the two, had always been ambitious. He pursued a career in finance, and for a while, it seemed he was on the path to success. But behind the facade of a prosperous life, Carlos harbored a deep-seated greed. When his business venture started failing, he saw his mother's savings as a quick fix to his financial woes. Manipulative and cunning, he convinced Maria to entrust him with her life savings, promising to invest them wisely. Lucia, on the other hand, was more subtle in her deceit. She portrayed herself as the dutiful daughter, always visiting Maria and offering help. But beneath her kind exterior lay a selfish heart. Lucia struggled with debts and a lifestyle she couldn't afford. She, too, saw her mother's savings as a solution. With sweet words and feigned concern, she coaxed Maria into lending her money, assuring her it was just a temporary loan. The day Maria discovered her bank accounts emptied, her world shattered. Confronting her children, she was met with excuses and justifications. Carlos argued that he had every intention of returning the money once his investments paid off. He painted a picture of future prosperity where they would all benefit from his financial acumen. Lucia, teary-eyed, claimed her debts were out of control, and she had no other option but to turn to her mother. Maria's heart ached with a pain deeper than she had ever known. Her children's words felt like knives, each one twisting the blade further. She had trusted them, believed in their goodness, but their actions spoke louder than their excuses. They had not only taken her money, but also shattered her faith in family. Alone and penniless, Maria had no choice but to leave her home, the place filled with memories of happier times. Carlos and Lucia continued their lives, burdened by their own guilt and justifications. They told themselves they had no other choice, that they were only doing what was necessary to survive. Yet, deep down, they knew the truth. They had betrayed their mother, the woman who had given them everything. The weight of their actions pressed heavily on their consciences, but they buried it under layers of denial and self-pity. As Maria struggled on the streets, Carlos's and Lucia's lives didn't improve as they had hoped. Carlos's investments failed, leaving him in deeper financial trouble. His reputation tarnished, he found it increasingly difficult to secure new opportunities. Lucia's debts continued to mount, and the stress took a toll on her health. They began to realize that their actions had not only destroyed their mother, but had also set them on a path of self-destruction. Despite their dire situations, Carlos and Lucia couldn't bring themselves to reach out to Maria. Pride and shame held them back. They knew that facing her would mean confronting the full extent of their betrayal. So, they continued to drift, each passing day filled with regret and the haunting memory of their mother's tearful eyes. They clung to the hope that somehow, someday, they could make amends. Maria's absence in their lives became a void that grew larger with each passing day. They missed her warmth, her unconditional love, and the sense of security she provided. Their homes, once filled with laughter and family gatherings, felt empty and cold. They realized too late the true value of what they had lost. But the road to redemption seemed too daunting, too filled with the shadows of their misdeeds. Maria's story spread among their friends and acquaintances. Whispers of her plight reached their ears, adding to their guilt. They couldn't escape the reality of what they had done. Carlos and Lucia found themselves trapped in a web of their own making, struggling to find a way out. Their mother's strength and resilience became a beacon in their darkest moments, a reminder of what they had lost and what they needed to strive for. As the months passed, the siblings' lives continued to unravel. Carlos lost his job, and Lucia's health deteriorated further. The facade of control they had maintained crumbled, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. In their darkest moments, they thought of Maria, wondering how she was surviving. The image of their mother, frail and alone on the streets, haunted their dreams and waking hours. Carlos and Lucia knew that they needed to change, to find a way to make things right. But the path to redemption was fraught with obstacles. They had to face their own shortcomings, their greed, and their selfishness. It was a journey that required courage and humility, qualities they had long neglected. They began to understand that true wealth wasn't measured in money, but in the love and trust of those they held dear. Their journey toward redemption began with small steps. They started volunteering at shelters, hoping to find some semblance of peace through helping others. It was a humbling experience, one that made them confront their own failings. They saw reflections of Maria in the faces of the people they helped, a reminder of the strength and dignity she had always shown. Slowly, they began to rebuild their shattered lives, driven by the hope of one day earning their mother's forgiveness. Maria, unaware of her children's inner turmoil, continued her routine on the streets. Her days were filled with hardship, but also with moments of unexpected kindness. She found solace in the small acts of generosity from strangers and the camaraderie of her fellow street dwellers. Her heart, though scarred, remained open to the possibility of healing. And as the sun set on another day, Maria held on to the hope that one day her family might be whole again. Maria found unexpected friends among the city's homeless. There was Jose, a kind-hearted man in his 60s who had lost everything to a gambling addiction. Despite his own struggles, Jose always had a smile for Maria and shared what little he had. His stories of better days, filled with laughter and hope, gave Maria a sense of normalcy in a world that had become harsh and unyielding. Carmen, a former teacher, had been living on the streets for nearly a decade. She was a fierce woman with a sharp mind, often found reading discarded books from the library's trash bins. Carmen's wisdom and resilience impressed Maria. They spent hours discussing everything from literature to life's injustices, forming a bond that transcended their dire circumstances. Carmen became a pillar of strength for Maria, a reminder that intellect and spirit could endure even the hardest of times. Miguel, a young man in his 20s, had run away from an abusive home. He saw a mother figure in Maria and often sought her advice. His presence brought out Maria's nurturing side, giving her a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they navigated the challenges of street life, finding comfort in their makeshift family. Miguel's youthful energy and determination inspired Maria, showing her that even in the darkest moments, there was still hope for a brighter future. The camaraderie among these street friends created a support system Maria had never expected. They shared food, stories, and dreams, finding solace in each other's company. On cold nights, they huddled together for warmth, their shared body heat a testament to their unbreakable bond. This newfound sense of community helped Maria regain a part of her lost dignity, reminding her that she was still valued and loved. Maria's friendship with Jose, Carmen, and Miguel highlighted the resilience of the human spirit. Each of them carried their own burdens, yet they found strength in one another. They laughed together, cried together, and faced each day's challenges as a united front. The street was unforgiving, but their solidarity turned it into a place of refuge. Through their shared experiences, Maria learned that true wealth lay not in material possessions, but in the connections we forge with others. One particularly cold evening, as they gathered around a small fire, Jose shared a piece of bread he had managed to find. "It's not much, but it's something," he said with a grin, passing the bread around. Maria took a piece, her heart warmed by the gesture. In that moment, she realized that despite their hardships, they were rich in ways that truly mattered. Their friendship was a beacon of light in the darkness, guiding them through the toughest times. Carmen often encouraged Maria to keep her mind sharp, offering her old books and engaging in deep conversations. "Knowledge is power," Carmen would say, her eyes gleaming with passion. Maria absorbed every word, finding comfort in the escape that literature provided. These moments of intellectual engagement were a stark contrast to the harsh reality of their lives, offering a glimpse of the world beyond the streets. Miguel's dreams of a better future inspired Maria. He often spoke of finding a job and leaving the streets behind. "We can't give up, Maria," he would say, his voice filled with determination. His youthful optimism rekindled a spark in Maria's heart, reminding her that it was never too late to hope, to dream, and to fight for a better life. Miguel's relentless spirit became a driving force for her, pushing her to keep moving forward. Their shared struggles created a bond stronger than blood. Maria's street family became her sanctuary, offering her a sense of belonging she hadn't felt in years. They celebrated small victories together and comforted each other in times of despair. This sense of unity gave Maria the strength to face each new day with a renewed sense of purpose. She realized that no matter how bleak life seemed, there was always hope as long as they had each other. One day, as they sat in their usual spot, a luxury SUV pulled up to the curb. A well-dressed man stepped out, his eyes scanning the group. He approached Maria with a curious expression, introducing himself as Ricardo. His presence was a stark contrast to their surroundings, but his eyes held a kindness that immediately put Maria at ease. Little did she know, this encounter would change her life in ways she could never have imagined. Ricardo listened intently as Maria shared her story, his expression growing more sympathetic with each word. He revealed that he, too, had faced hardships in the past, and his journey to success had been filled with challenges. There was something about Maria's resilience and the bond she shared with her street family that touched him deeply. Ricardo saw an opportunity not just to help, but to create something meaningful that could benefit many others like Maria. As the conversation continued, Ricardo's eyes sparkled with a new idea. He proposed a plan that could transform not just Maria's life, but the lives of many elderly people living on the streets. His words filled Maria with a cautious hope. The possibility of change, of leaving behind the harsh life of the streets, seemed almost too good to be true. Yet, the sincerity in Ricardo's eyes made her believe that perhaps, just perhaps, a new beginning was within reach. One chilly morning, Maria sat on her usual bench, feeding the pigeons, when a sleek, black SUV pulled up in front of her. She watched curiously as a well-dressed man stepped out. His presence was commanding, yet his eyes held a warmth that immediately put her at ease. He approached her with a gentle smile, introducing himself as Ricardo. This encounter seemed different, almost surreal, as if destiny had a hand in it. Ricardo's interest in Maria was genuine. He listened attentively as she recounted her story, her voice trembling with emotion. She spoke of her life before the streets, her children, and the betrayal that led her here. Ricardo's face remained empathetic, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding. He didn't interrupt. He simply let her speak, allowing her to pour out the pain she had held inside for so long. As Maria talked, Ricardo felt a profound connection to her plight. He had seen many faces on the streets, but something about Maria's dignity and resilience touched him deeply. Her story was one of countless others, yet it resonated with him on a personal level. Ricardo knew what it felt like to be at rock bottom, to fight for survival against all odds. His own past had been fraught with challenges, making him appreciate Maria's strength even more. After Maria finished her story, Ricardo took a deep breath. He explained that he had once been in a similar position, struggling to make ends meet, facing insurmountable odds. His journey to where he stood now had been long and arduous, filled with both failures and triumphs. Ricardo shared his belief that everyone deserved a second chance, a hand to help them up when they were down. Maria listened, her eyes wide with a mixture of hope and skepticism. Ricardo's words were not just empty promises. He revealed his plan to create a community project aimed at helping the elderly who were homeless, providing them with shelter, food, and a sense of purpose. He envisioned a place where they could live with dignity, surrounded by people who cared. Maria felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. Could this man truly be the answer to her prayers? The idea of leaving the streets, of having a safe place to call home, was almost too overwhelming for Maria to process. She had grown accustomed to her harsh reality, the daily struggle for survival. Yet, Ricardo's sincerity and determination made her believe that change was possible. As he spoke of his vision, Maria's heart dared to dream again. She imagined a life where she didn't have to worry about her next meal or where she would sleep. Ricardo's plan was ambitious, but it was rooted in compassion and practicality. He wanted to create a space where people like Maria could rebuild their lives, regain their self-worth, and find joy in everyday moments. He emphasized that this wasn't charity. It was a partnership, a way to empower those who had been forgotten by society. Maria's eyes filled with tears of gratitude and relief. For the first time in years, she felt seen, heard, and valued. As they talked, Ricardo's SUV became a small haven of warmth and hope amidst the cold city streets. He handed Maria a business card and a small envelope. "Inside this envelope is a little help to get you through the next few days," he said softly. "And my card has my contact information. Think about my offer, Maria. I want to help you, but the decision is yours." Maria took the envelope with trembling hands, overwhelmed by his kindness. That night, as Maria lay under her thin blanket, she clutched Ricardo's card tightly. The envelope contained enough money to buy food and some essentials, but it was the card that held her attention. Ricardo's offer echoed in her mind, a beacon of hope piercing through the darkness. She thought of Jose, Carmen, and Miguel, wondering if they too could be part of this new beginning. Maria's heart raced with a mix of fear and excitement. The next morning, Maria shared her encounter with her street family. Jose, ever the optimist, grinned widely. "Sounds like a blessing, Maria. You should go for it," he said. Carmen, always pragmatic, nodded thoughtfully. "It could be a chance to change everything," she added. Miguel, with his youthful enthusiasm, encouraged her to take the leap. Their support bolstered Maria's resolve. She decided to meet Ricardo again, to learn more about his plan and how she could be part of it. As Maria prepared for her next meeting with Ricardo, a sense of anticipation filled the air. She couldn't help but feel that this was the turning point she had been waiting for. The possibility of a new life, of finding purpose and dignity, seemed within reach. Maria's heart was full of hope and determination. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with Ricardo's help, she believed she could reclaim her life. Ricardo's life had not always been filled with success and luxury. He grew up in a small, impoverished neighborhood where opportunities were scarce and hope seemed a distant dream. His father left when he was young, and his mother worked multiple jobs to make ends meet. Ricardo learned the value of hard work and perseverance from a young age, watching his mother struggle but never give up. In his teenage years, Ricardo fell in with the wrong crowd, seeking an escape from his difficult home life. He made poor choices, leading to trouble with the law. His mother's heart broke as she watched her son spiral out of control. But a chance encounter with a local mentor, Mr. Alvarez, changed everything. Mr. Alvarez saw potential in Ricardo and offered him a job at his small business, giving him a chance to turn his life around. Working with Mr. Alvarez, Ricardo discovered a passion for business. He threw himself into learning everything he could, from accounting to customer service. Mr. Alvarez became a father figure, guiding him with wisdom and patience. Ricardo's hard work paid off, and he began to envision a future far removed from the one he had been heading towards. He saved every penny he earned, dreaming of one day owning his own business. Ricardo faced numerous setbacks along the way. His first business venture failed spectacularly, leaving him in debt and disillusioned. But he refused to give up. He took on multiple jobs, working tirelessly to repay his debts and gain new skills. Each failure became a lesson, each obstacle a stepping stone. Ricardo's resilience and determination eventually led him to success, as he finally established a thriving enterprise. Throughout his journey, Ricardo never forgot his roots. He frequently returned to his old neighborhood, helping others who were in the same position he once was. He set up scholarships, funded community projects, and provided mentorship programs. His success was not just measured by his wealth, but by the positive impact he had on those around him. Ricardo believed in giving back, in lifting others up as he had been lifted. Meeting Maria reminded Ricardo of his own mother, who had passed away a few years earlier. Her strength, her dignity, and her struggle resonated deeply with him. He saw in Maria the same unyielding spirit that had driven him to succeed. Ricardo's heart ached at the thought of her suffering, and he felt a profound need to help her. It was not just an act of charity, but a way to honor his mother's memory. Ricardo's plan for the community project was deeply personal. He envisioned a place where elderly people, forgotten by society, could find refuge and respect. It was inspired by the hardships he had witnessed in his own family and community. Ricardo wanted to create a space where people could rebuild their lives, where they could feel valued and supported. He knew it was an ambitious project, but his past had taught him that anything was possible with determination and compassion. As he shared his story with Maria, Ricardo felt a connection that went beyond words. He saw the hope flicker in her eyes, the cautious optimism that mirrored his own journey. Maria's resilience reminded him of his own struggles, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Helping Maria was not just about providing shelter or food. It was about restoring her dignity and giving her a chance to live, not just survive. Ricardo's past had been filled with challenges, but it had also been a source of immense strength. His journey from poverty to prosperity had shaped him into a man who valued kindness, empathy, and hard work. He knew that his success was not his alone, but a result of the support and guidance he had received along the way. Ricardo was determined to pay it forward, to be the beacon of hope for others as Mr. Alvarez had been for him. Maria listened to Ricardo's story with a mixture of admiration and hope. His journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of second chances. She saw in him a kindred spirit, someone who understood her struggles on a fundamental level. Ricardo's offer was not just a lifeline. It was a promise of a brighter future. Maria felt a spark of hope reignite within her, a belief that perhaps her life could change for the better. Ricardo's past and his vision for the future intertwined seamlessly. He was determined to create a community where people like Maria could find solace and support. His journey had come full circle, from a troubled youth to a successful businessman with a heart full of compassion. Ricardo's story was a beacon of hope, a reminder that with perseverance and kindness, even the darkest of times could lead to a brighter future. With a renewed sense of purpose, Ricardo extended his proposal to Maria. He explained that his community project aimed to provide not just shelter but a new lease on life for elderly people like her. The project, named Haven of Hope, was designed to offer housing, medical care, and opportunities for meaningful engagement. Ricardo's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as he described the possibilities, and Maria felt a surge of hope. Maria listened intently, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and fear. Ricardo's vision sounded like a dream, but her years on the street had taught her to be cautious. "I want you to be a part of this, Maria," Ricardo said gently. "You have so much to offer. Your strength, your story, they can inspire others." He handed her a brochure detailing the project, the images of smiling faces and cozy rooms almost too good to be true. Ricardo's sincerity was undeniable. He promised that this was not just a temporary fix, but a long-term solution aimed at restoring dignity and purpose to those forgotten by society. Maria's skepticism slowly melted away. Ricardo's passion and commitment were infectious, and for the first time in years, she allowed herself to believe in a brighter future. The thought of having a safe place to sleep, regular meals, and a community filled her with a cautious optimism. Ricardo offered Maria a role in the project, not just as a beneficiary but as a mentor. He believed her life experiences could help guide others who were struggling. "You've been through so much, Maria. Your story can inspire and give hope to so many others," he said. Maria was touched by his faith in her, feeling a sense of worth she hadn't felt in a long time. The idea of helping others, of being part of something bigger, resonated deeply with her. The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions for Maria. She shared Ricardo's proposal with Jose, Carmen, and Miguel. They were overjoyed for her, their encouragement bolstering her confidence. Carmen, ever the realist, reminded her to take things one step at a time. Jose's optimism and Miguel's enthusiasm mirrored her own growing excitement. Their support made her decision easier. She realized that accepting Ricardo's offer wasn't just for her. It was for them too, a testament to the power of their friendship. When Maria finally agreed to Ricardo's proposal, he smiled warmly. "You won't regret this, Maria," he assured her. They began making plans for her to move into the Haven of Hope. Ricardo explained the various programs and activities designed to engage and uplift the residents. Maria's heart swelled with anticipation. The thought of having a stable home and the opportunity to help others filled her with a newfound sense of purpose. Maria's transition to Haven of Hope was a transformative experience. She was greeted with warmth and respect by the staff and fellow residents. For the first time in years, she slept in a comfortable bed, her mind at ease. The clean, welcoming environment was a stark contrast to the harsh streets she had known. Each day brought new opportunities for connection and growth, and Maria embraced them with open arms. In her new role, Maria found herself sharing her story with others, offering words of encouragement and wisdom. She became a beacon of hope, her resilience and compassion touching the hearts of many. The other residents looked up to her, finding strength in her journey. Maria's days were filled with purpose, her heart swelling with gratitude for the second chance she had been given. She had gone from being a survivor to a mentor, her life's trials now a source of inspiration. Ricardo's project thrived, its success a testament to the power of compassion and community. Maria's involvement became a cornerstone of its mission, her story a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. She worked closely with Ricardo, helping to shape programs and initiatives that would benefit the residents. Together, they built a community rooted in love, respect, and mutual support. Maria's new life was not without its challenges, but she faced them with a strength and determination that inspired everyone around her. She found joy in the little things: morning walks in the garden, shared meals, and the laughter of new friends. Her days were no longer filled with uncertainty and fear, but with hope and purpose. Maria's transformation was a testament to the power of second chances and the impact of a caring community. As the weeks passed, Maria grew more confident in her role. She organized storytelling sessions, where residents could share their experiences and learn from one another. These sessions became a source of healing and connection, forging strong bonds among the residents. Maria's leadership and compassion shone brightly, her past hardships now a beacon guiding others toward a better future. Ricardo watched Maria with pride and gratitude. Her transformation was the embodiment of his vision for Haven of Hope. He knew there were many more like her, waiting for a chance to reclaim their lives. Together, he and Maria worked tirelessly to expand the project, reaching out to more elderly people in need. Their partnership was a testament to the enduring power of kindness, resilience, and the belief that it's never too late to start anew. Maria's life at Haven of Hope was a far cry from the harsh streets she once knew. Her days began with a sense of purpose and security. She woke up in a warm bed, sunlight streaming through the window, filling her room with a golden glow. The scent of fresh coffee and baked bread wafted through the air, a comforting reminder of her new reality. Each morning, Maria felt a renewed sense of gratitude for the second chance she had been given. Engaging with the community at Haven of Hope, Maria found herself blossoming in ways she hadn't thought possible. She took part in various activities, from gardening to arts and crafts, rediscovering passions that had long been buried under the weight of survival. Her laughter, once a rare sound, became a familiar melody in the halls. The friendships she formed were genuine and deep, each person adding a unique thread to the tapestry of her new life. Maria's role as a mentor brought her immense fulfillment. She led group discussions, sharing her journey and the lessons she had learned. Her words, filled with wisdom and compassion, resonated with the other residents. She saw reflections of her past struggles in their eyes and offered them hope and encouragement. Through her guidance, many found the strength to face their own challenges, inspired by her resilience and courage. One of Maria's favorite activities was tending to the community garden. The act of nurturing plants and watching them grow became a metaphor for her own journey. She spent hours digging in the soil, planting seeds, and caring for the vibrant flowers that bloomed under her care. The garden became a place of solace and reflection, where she could connect with nature and find peace. It was here that she often found herself lost in thought, dreaming of the future. Maria's transformation was not just physical but emotional and spiritual as well. She began to heal from the wounds of her past, finding forgiveness in her heart for her children. The bitterness and anger that had once consumed her slowly dissipated, replaced by a profound sense of inner peace. She realized that holding on to resentment only hurt herself, and she chose to let go, embracing the love and support of her new community. Her newfound happiness was a beacon of hope for others. The residents of Haven of Hope looked up to Maria, drawing strength from her journey. Her resilience became a source of inspiration, a testament to the power of the human spirit. Maria's presence was a constant reminder that no matter how dark the past, there was always a chance for a brighter future. She embraced her role as a leader, guiding others towards their own paths of healing and renewal. As the months passed, Maria grew more involved in the management of Haven of Hope. She worked closely with Ricardo, helping to develop programs and initiatives that would benefit the residents. Together, they organized workshops, support groups, and recreational activities, creating a vibrant and nurturing environment. Maria's input was invaluable, her insights shaped by her own experiences and her deep understanding of the residents' needs. The transformation of Maria's life did not go unnoticed by her old street friends. Jose, Carmen, and Miguel often visited her at Haven of Hope, marveling at the changes they saw. Maria's joy was contagious, and her friends felt a renewed sense of hope for their own futures. She encouraged them to take part in the community, offering them the same support and guidance she had received. Their bond grew stronger, a testament to the enduring power of friendship. Maria's story reached beyond the walls of Haven of Hope, inspiring many in the wider community. Local media covered her journey, highlighting the impact of Ricardo's project. Donations and support poured in, enabling the expansion of Haven of Hope to reach even more elderly people in need. Maria's face became a symbol of resilience and renewal, her journey a beacon of hope for those who felt forgotten by society. Through it all, Maria remained humble and grateful. She never took her new life for granted, always remembering the struggles that had brought her here. Her heart was full, not just with the love and support of her new friends, but with a deep sense of purpose. Maria had found her calling, and each day was an opportunity to give back, to help others find their own paths to healing and happiness. As Maria's life flourished, she often thought about her children. She hoped that one day they might find their own paths to redemption. She longed for reconciliation, not just for herself, but for the family they once were. Her heart, though scarred, was open to the possibility of forgiveness and healing. Maria's journey had taught her that love and compassion were the true measures of a life well lived. The day Maria faced her children again dawned unexpectedly. She was in the garden, her hands deep in the soil, when a familiar voice called her name. She looked up to see Carlos and Lucia standing at the entrance of Haven of Hope. Their faces were etched with remorse and hesitation. The sight of them stirred a whirlwind of emotions in Maria's heart: anger, sorrow, but also a flicker of hope. Carlos was the first to speak, his voice cracking with guilt. "Mama, we need to talk," he said, stepping forward. Maria's hands trembled as she wiped the dirt from them, unsure of what to say. She had dreamed of this moment, but feared it as well. Lucia, with tears streaming down her face, stood beside her brother. "We are so sorry for everything," she whispered, her voice barely audible. The weight of their betrayal hung heavily in the air. Maria took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Carlos and Lucia exchanged a glance before Carlos spoke again. "We've realized what we did was wrong. We've been struggling, and it made us see things differently. We know we hurt you, and we want to make things right," he said earnestly. Maria could see the sincerity in their eyes, but years of pain made it hard to trust their words. Lucia stepped forward, reaching out to her mother. "Mama, we've changed. We've been volunteering, trying to help others like you. It made us understand how selfish we were. Please, can you forgive us?" she pleaded. Maria's heart ached at the sight of her children, so broken and repentant. She had longed for this moment, but forgiveness was not something that came easily after such deep wounds. The residents of Haven of Hope gathered quietly, watching the emotional reunion. Ricardo stood nearby, ready to offer support if needed. Maria glanced at him, drawing strength from his reassuring presence. She turned back to her children, her expression softening. "It's not just about forgiveness," she said gently. "It's about trust, and that takes time to rebuild." Her words were firm but compassionate, reflecting the wisdom she had gained through her journey. Carlos and Lucia nodded, understanding the depth of what she was saying. "We're willing to do whatever it takes, Mama," Carlos said earnestly. "We want to be part of your life again, to make up for the pain we caused." Lucia added, "We miss you, and we want to show you that we've changed." Their sincerity touched Maria deeply. She could see the truth in their eyes, the genuine desire to mend what had been broken. Maria took a moment to gather her thoughts, her heart torn between the past and the possibility of a new beginning. "I've built a new life here," she said slowly, "a life where I've found peace and purpose. If you want to be part of it, you must respect that." Carlos and Lucia nodded eagerly, their relief evident. "We understand, Mama. We just want a chance to prove ourselves," Carlos said. Maria's heart softened further, the walls she had built around it beginning to crumble. Ricardo stepped forward, offering his support. "Maria, Whatever you decide, know that we are here for you, he said kindly. Maria smiled gratefully at him, feeling the strength of the community behind her. She turned back to her children, her resolve firm. You can stay, but it will take time for me to trust you again. Actions speak louder than words, she said. Carlos and Lucia agreed, their faces lighting up with hope and determination. In the days that followed, Carlos and Lucia visited frequently, participating in activities and helping out wherever they could. They saw firsthand the positive impact Haven of Hope had on its residents, including their mother. They witnessed Maria's strength and resilience, her newfound happiness and purpose. Slowly, through their actions and genuine efforts, they began to rebuild the trust that had been shattered. Maria watched their progress with cautious optimism. She saw the changes in her children, their commitment to making amends. It wasn't an easy journey, but each small step they took towards reconciliation brought a glimmer of hope to her heart. The support of the Haven of Hope community played a crucial role, providing a safe space for Maria to navigate her complex emotions. Ricardo's guidance and the solidarity of her friends offered her the strength she needed to move forward. As months passed, the relationship between Maria and her children slowly healed. They shared meals, worked together in the garden, and spent time reflecting on the past and planning for the future. Maria's heart, once heavy with betrayal, began to mend. She found herself laughing with Carlos and Lucia, sharing stories and dreams. The bond they rebuilt was stronger for the trials they had endured, rooted in a deeper understanding and respect. The final step in their reconciliation came one sunny afternoon. Maria, Carlos, and Lucia stood in the garden, surrounded by the vibrant flowers that symbolized their new beginning. "I forgive you," Maria said softly, tears streaming down her face. "But remember, this is just the beginning. We have a lot of work ahead of us." Carlos and Lucia embraced their mother, their hearts filled with gratitude and love. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, but they were committed to walking it together as a family. With the past behind them and the future ahead, Maria, Carlos, and Lucia faced their new lives with hope and determination. The journey of forgiveness and healing had transformed them all, teaching them the true meaning of family and the power of second chances. As they stood together in the garden, they knew that, no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them as a united family, stronger and more resilient than ever before. Now get ready for another captivating tale. An antique clock reveals a secret about a missing mother. What it revealed was incredible. If you want to uncover the mystery and experience the twists and turns of this new story, click on the video appearing on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications to continue receiving the best emotional stories. Also, check the pinned comment for a link to buy me a coffee, where you can contribute to help us bring you more touching stories daily.